Hello everyone, Shawn Kenney here playing some Freelancer, and this is the first part. We've if you watched the previous episode, that was basically all the introductory scenes. We're going to be playing as Trent, our Freelancer. Basically we lost everything in the Freeport 7 explosion, and so our first mission is with King out in space. This one's going to be heavy on story and heavily narrated. It's pretty much like a tutorial mission.
You must be Trent. Yep. I'm King, the CO of this mission.
Alright, King.
I contacted the lead transport of the convoy. They've completed pre-launch checks and are ready to go. Should be an easy run from here to Fort Bush and then on to Pittsburgh. Ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Ready to go.
It's good to meet you, King. Is that a Rhineland cruiser? That's the Donau, Admiral Schultzky's flagship. He's visiting Manhattan to attend a high-level meeting with President Jacoby. Keep your distance.
Alright, well, we're in a cutscene, so I don't really have a choice in keeping distance.
Affirmative, Donau. You are cleared for docking point 6. Liberty welcomes you and Admiral Schultzky.
Definitely some scale. You know, I mean, if you're thinking space, like, you know, everything is not to scale, that's for sure. Oh, seems to be under attack.
Roger. Tracking incoming ships. Unidentified ships. This is Newark Station. You are entering restricted space. Alter course at once or we will open fire. Newark, do not interfere. We're here to protect the president. Schultzky's a traitor. Red alert. The Donau is hit.
It is gone. Alright, so now we get to actually start flying. Now, unlike many space flight simulators, and quite controversially at the time, this is played with the keyboard, mouse and keyboard actually. It's using a first-person shooter control, so ASDW, W is going to accelerate forward, S is going to decelerate you, and you can go, you can't really go backwards exactly, but then A and D are your strafe maneuvers. So right now these guys are you know, pretty much tutorial first run, that they are not putting up much of a fight. This basic ship we have is basically got the worst weapons that are in the game. You know, everything. We're all sort of at the lowest level at this point. So it does take quite a bit of hammering, but you know, really, you know, for a time when a lot of, you know, obviously Wing Commander type games at the X-Wing TIE Fighter series, you know, joysticks were pretty much considered, you know, assumed the best way. Alright, well, we've taken them all out here. But, you know, so going to the keyboard, mouse keyboard using first-person shooters was kind of controversial at the time, and you know, I've seen a lot of people talk about Star Citizen, you know, and Chris Roberts is saying, you know, that all inputs are going to be valid, which gives me hope that, hey, you know, keyboard and mouse really does work well. If anyone's going to implement it, I certainly have hope.
How did they get this close to Manhattan without being detected?
Sorry, but a little bit of chatter.
First Freeport 7, and now this. It's getting out of control.
Raiders, the Order. Yeah, there's yeah, actually, I kind of like the story mission in this.
All right, we've reached the trade lane. Engaging activation sequence. Trent, you go first.
All right, well, and you know, as you may have recognized, one of the main characters we're going to be seeing a lot of, Junie, who gave us this first mission, is voiced by none other than Commander Shepard, Jennifer Hale. You know, I actually kind of forgot about that. And so this would have been... I did make a mistake. This game, Freelancer, was released in 2003, March 2003. I went double-checked it. So, yeah, you know, this is... Hey, you know, 10 years old at this point. And really, you know, other than Eve, alright, so we're going to be escorting these guys. We can go into formation. And, you can use the F4 key, or you click on the formation button up there. Those give you you get free flight. There's sort of an autopilot. You can set a nav point and then hit F2 and it'll fly. It'll try and avoid big obstacles, but it's not the best.
They took out the Donau with their first missile salvo. We never had a chance to stop them.
And we have some different types of engines. I'm going to go over that. You know, of course, King is just all ready to spout out the exposition.
The rogue problem has gotten out of control in this area.
Rogue problem.
Don't worry, that's why we're here.
Yeah, we're here to deal with any rogues.
Initiated.
So we certainly had an action-packed mission. Yeah, going over a little bit.
Looking good so
A
far.
lot of these controls. I do want to go over it. Like I said, I don't really want to talk over a whole lot of the narration, although I probably have here to a certain degree. But you know, we're gonna have to take out some rogues. So, yeah, you know, we're just gonna basically just give us another encounter. When you destroy objects, you can pick them up by pressing B, and that'll use the tractor beam. So yeah, the first-person shooter controls really do work well for this. So a lot of the story behind Freelancer is, in a lot of ways, the story behind what we're going to see in Star Citizen. Chris Roberts, when he started developing Wing Commander, you know, this was his idea for Freelancer is not all that unlike what we see in Star Citizen. Like, he wanted to have dynamic economies and sort of just like a real virtual universe where you can go, you start off with your basic ship and, you know, you doing missions, you can be a pirate, and you know, there is a multiplayer mode where if you want to play Freelancer, you can start up your own multiplayer server and keep it private if you want, or open it up to your friends, and you basically do that. There's no story mission. You just start out with this little basic ship, a couple basic weapons. You can go into the taverns, find some jobs, or not. You can go out, just fly out into these debris fields, and if you shoot some of the debris, sometimes it'll drop loot. So I mean, you can literally just, you know, mine, or there's fields where you can do that. And so, you know, as you can see, I'm just sort of tractoring beam, you know, whatever loot they have in their cargo hold. Oftentimes they'll have, you know, scrap metal or stuff like that. In Freelancer, there is no dynamic economy. Unfortunately, it's a completely static economy, but it does a pretty decent job of, you know, setting up. There's high value trade routes, low value trade routes. A lot of them kind of make sense, you know. Outposts want luxury goods, and they have raw materials for sale, whereas, you know, core worlds have, you know, a lot of those luxury goods, a lot of stuff, but they want you know, they also want maybe high value meat product, perishable goods. There is a fairly robust economy, even though it is static. It does set up really challenging trade routes. So if you wanted to go through Freelancer as flying more or less a trader, you can do that. Alright, we got a bolt rejoin formation with there is some collision damage. It's not too brutal, so, you know, you run into stuff, it's not the end of the world. Your shields will take some damage. If you keep running into stuff at extremely high speed, like cruise engines, then, you know, your shields will wear out eventually, and then you'll start taking all damage. So we're just going to burn for the trade lane. There we go. We hit the trade lane, and that kicks us into sort of higher speed. There's several different ways of getting around. You have your basic flying engines where you have power to weapons. We have our cruise engines. This is for this disables your weapons, but allows you to travel around a little quicker. You know, as you can see, we're down the bottom right. We can go to 300 in cruise engines, whilst 80 is our maximum speed normally.
But we got what we came for. Thanks for playing the bait.
Alright, so...
Now it's your turn to reel him in, King. We're gonna unload our cargo. Remember our bargain.
I'm transferring the payment to your neural net account.
Alright, we're paying off the cargo for the cargo ships for playing.
You'll see soon
He had something planned.
Go ahead and land on Pittsburgh. I'll meet you on the surface.
Alright, we'll meet you on the surface, King. So that's basically the first mission. You know, gives us a good introduction to some space combat, flying around, get us out moving along the trade lanes. So the trade lanes connect you within a system, and then there's jump gates, which basically level your load you to the next zone, which is basically another sector.
You'll find Pittsburgh to be remarkably unexciting, Trent. That's the mining operation. Not much to look at. A lot of rocks, smoke, and fire. But what it lacks in class, it more than makes up for in cheap drinks. Send
like
your ship
cheap
down on one of
drinks
the
in
landing pads
Pittsburgh.
over there.
Alright, King, so... a lot of the different planets, there's some similar, a lot of stations look the same, but most of the main planets, they have their own little landing areas. And, you know, they're giving us a good view of planet Pittsburgh. You know, not too bad. I mean,
Nice job,
honestly,
Trent.
the graphics
Now I believe I owe
hold
you
up.
some
Ah, yeah,
credits.
credits.
Hey, King, did you know it was gonna get hot out
Oh, yeah,
there?
he knew.
We're not done yet. We're just waiting for the others.
He is
What
rocking
others?
that
We've
stash.
suspected for some time now that the Order has had ties to organized crime and liberty. They may even be hiding a secret base. I think we're on to something here, and I've called for backup. We could really use you out there, Trent.
More money?
All right, but this had better be worth it.
It will be.
Trent the
I
mercenary.
promise you. Oh, and, Trent, now that you have a little scratch, I'd look into outfitting that pile of junk you're flying. Try the equipment dealer over there. He always has good
Not
deals.
a bad idea.
I'll see you in space.
So all your ships can be upgraded. There's several upgrade slots. Various ships can handle different weapon types, either turrets or forward-facing cannons. You can also check out your player stats. There's a whole reputation system. So if you want to be a pirate, you can be a pirate. If you want to be a merchant, you can play with your faction however you want to do that. But if you raise it with, say, the rogues, you're going to lower it with the LSF, and the police are going to be after you. So as you can see, there's like shield slots, thrusters, different weapon slots. You can have mines, countermeasures. You can go to the ship dealer. Right now, this place only sells basically the Rhino. It's a little freighter upgrade. It's certainly better than what we have now. But probably going more of a fighter route. I'll look at upgrading that. But, you know, this is perfectly viable for getting your first runs. You know, unfortunately, with the static economy, there's some really good runs that can basically make you a ton of money right off the bat if you know what they are. But part of the fun is discovering them. So let's upgrade. I'm going to grab a Class 2. So I have guns and missile slots. I can have 2 Class 2 and 1 Class 3. Countermeasures, mines. You can even get missiles. So I think I'm going to go with the Starbeam Class 2. Just give us a little bit more firepower. I don't want to upgrade this ship too much. I may get a few upgrades as I go on. But join me in the next episode when we check out King for the second mission. I'm Shawn Kenney, playing Freelancer. Thanks for watching. So long for now.